Hi, I am live on Facebook.
Are you okay?
Welcome, Facebook folks. Bear with me while catch my breath while I text.
At Colonial Brass,
Man, I'm glad this is a relationship
polishing and
business.
restoring silver, brass, bronze, and copper in the Houston area for almost 30 years. They polish and repair sterling silver, hollowware, and tea service sets. From chandeliers to a spoon you dropped in the disposal, they can take care of it. Realtors putting a home on the market, the front door is the first thing a client sees, and they can make it beautiful again. Same-day service. Go where the professionals go. ColonialBrass.net. Don't throw it, restore it. 713-784-7765. ColonialBrass.net.
The following program, paid for by Right Path Real Estate, does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station. It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today.
Whew. Oh my gosh.
Get ready. The guy that
All right,
will
there
put
we
your
go.
fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1817.
That's weird.
877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hot mics.
All right, well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. I'm trying to get over to Facebook on my computer. I've already had a conversation with my brother this morning. You know, people are freaking out because next Tuesday is Foreclosure Tuesday. He said, hey, you know, how quickly can you get a title commitment in? I'm like, man, Texas American, Ashley Patton's law firm, they do it really, really fast. So Shay, be expecting a call pretty soon. Want to get title going. Also, when I get done, you know, when we are actually doing real estate, it's interesting because, you know, doing a radio show, I can talk about what we did yesterday. I can talk about what we did the day before. I can talk about what I'm going to do today, and it's all relevant because, you know, really, there's a lot to learn just from how we've done it. We had a property tour yesterday for those folks that were in base camp, and it was the fourth time at the same property. We bought this property off of MLS like 4 months ago, something like that. What's always fascinating is that, Tom, where do I find deals? Well, we found this one on MLS. And, you know, so it was out there, you know, hidden on MLS. And I guarantee you every other investor that is looking for deals would have seen this and would have looked at it and said, it's not a deal. And you're right, at the price that it was listed on MLS, it was not a deal. However, I don't just look at what is, I look at what I want it to be. And there's a number at which every property on MLS is a deal for an investor. It's just you got to do the math. And what I find is there's two things that prevent people from being successful in real estate investing. One is they don't really know where they're trying to go. And then number two, they really don't have a plan on how to get there. There's more reasons why. You know, one of the things we teach about is that it's one thing to learn how to do something. It's another thing to learn how to change your thinking. Most people, it's not the lack of knowing how to do. It's the thinking that's involved that makes someone successful. Now, I had a very interesting day yesterday. You know, it started out, did the radio show. It was Build Your Team Thursday. We had a great team. You know, it was Fast Track first thing, and then it was Next Gen on a best of, and then it was Jerry Tom Property Care. And then as soon as I left there, I mean, I got on. We were scheduled to close on a property that we've been working on this file for about 6 months. And one of the things you may not know is there's a lot of fraud that's going on in real estate. I mean, we know of two situations. One situation where our retail brokerage in-house, Ivy Partners, our broker, Audra, she was representing a buyer on a house. And you think, well, how can somebody get scammed buying a house? Well, here's how it works. All the information is really on MLS about who the title company is, who the buyer's agent is, who the seller's agent is. And you can go on most title companies' websites and create like the logo from the title company. You can just cut and paste the logo. So what happened was a couple days before closing, because it even says, when the closing date is supposed to happen. So lo and behold, this guy gets an email with wiring instructions from what looks like is the title company. And it references, the agent and, his own buyer's agent. It represents the title company and says, hey, wire your money, your down payment to this account. So sure enough, his down payment was $140,000. So he wired it to the account. Lo and behold, it wasn't the title company's account. So that money's just gone, like gone. And you want to hear something sad? I mean, talk about FBI investigations and all that. This is really, I don't know if it's Secret Service that does, bank fraud, or if it's FBI because it's, banking fraud. But they go, I know $140,000 sounds like a lot of money, but we really go after much bigger fish. We really don't have the time to fool with your measly $140,000. I mean, talk about encouraging the bad guys, right? I mean, we want to worry about having the FBI investigate, something that happened 35, 36 years ago, which, I mean, what's there to investigate? I mean, he says something, she says something. It seems like there's a lot more people standing up corroborating his story, not one person, hers. And I'm not getting in the middle of all that. All I'm saying is, man, these people can't, they don't have time to investigate stuff that happened last week. How are they going to investigate something that happened 35 years ago? I mean, that's just crazy. So then the fraud that happened to us is that, lo and behold, we've been trying to solve the title issues, finally get it solved. Tex Americans ready to go to closing, and, always, you get a title commitment when you open it, but they always pull a last minute because, a lien could have been attached to the property since the, 3 or 4 months ago when we opened up title to begin with, right? Well, wasn't a lien attached, but somebody named Gina listed herself as the grantor, never was a grantee, never in the chain of title, but just this random Gina chick goes and sells, lists the property as a grantee, some girl named Marta. And now it's like, oh my God, how are we going to find Gina? How are we going to find Marta? And yesterday was a full day of tracking down people. We got 2 out of the 3 people involved. So I go to the district attorney right after this radio show. You know what I'll tell you is real estate is never boring. And I'll just say, buyer beware if you're not buying through a title company. Now, I know that the people that would normally buy, outside of a title company probably don't listen to this show because they're not really people that are wanting to get educated. Or they're people that just don't know what they don't know, right? Now, it turns out that the buyer in this situation, she was the victim. And the good news is it looks like she only got taken for about $500. They were trying to take her for $35,000. And I just think, man, what a pair of cojones on this person that, basically sticks signs in the yard and tries to scam people by selling a property that they don't own. I mean, that's ballsy. It really is. They were trying to scam her out of $35,000. But in talking to the buyer in this whole transaction, she can describe what the guy looks like that was the quote-unquote investor. He's a guy that goes by Junior. I don't think that's his real name. I have a picture of a woman that going through the notary, we found out where the notary works. We talked to the notary's boss, found out there's another employee involved, got a picture of her, got a picture of her car. They identified that person's car as the car that was being driven by the guy that's putting this on. So, I've got so much information to give to the DA today. So I'm going to go straight from the radio show, go to the DA. It's time that people start standing up and doing the right thing for the right reasons. I'm not going to wait 35 years and report this later. I'm going to do it right now while everything is fresh. So hopefully we can get this thing closed by next week. What the title company wants, just for those of y'all that understand title, what they're looking for is they'd like the person that was the grantor to deed. Two scenarios. They're saying, well, maybe they just put the wrong, physical description of the property. And I said, I don't think that's what's happening. And they said, so if they can sign an affidavit, we've done that before. We've filled out the legal description before and filed it incorrectly, and then lo and behold, it really was an honest mistake. We signed an affidavit that it was the wrong physical address. Okay, no harm, no foul. We correct the county clerk's record. But when there's fraud like this going on, straight out theft of a property, then I don't think that's a mistake. So I explained that to the title company and said, well, then we're going to need to have the grantor grant the property back to the estate. And we're going to need to have the grantee grant the property back to the estate. But then here's where the challenge comes in. I'm not sure that the Gina that is the grantor, what I'm not sure, I've got a 50-50 chance that she's actually the one that signed the document to begin with, because the notary never saw any of the signatures, which is against notary code. And I don't believe that the notary was trying to do anything wrong or anything like that. I believe that they're a victim in this situation. But that's the reason why there's rules for notaries, right? And she didn't follow the rules. We're not trying to get her in trouble, but what we recognize is that it would have made it a lot simpler if she had an ID for the seller. But what she was doing, if you've been working with somebody for 3 or 4 years in the same office, you think that you know that person. They say, hey, you know me, go ahead and notarize this. Yeah, okay, I'll do that because it's out of relationship. But she even stated later, she said, I've really never even known this girl like that. I've never really trusted her. So trust your spidey senses. 9 times out of 10, if you got spidey senses in the back of your neck standing up, trust them. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. I will not be talking about the DA stuff all morning long. If you want to call and ask questions about that, keep in mind next Tuesday is Foreclosure Tuesday, so tax liens, mortgage foreclosures, HOA foreclosures. If you want to ask about foreclosures, our opinions about that, feel free to give us a call, 713-785-1817. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned through the break. I'll be right back.
Mike's off.
Thank you. Hey, morning, Ginger. Morning, Robert. Morning, Carolyn. Hey, Veronica.
Foundation movement. Due to our expansion,
Veronica, are you actually on here?
Area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before ever repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us
I use
online
chia
at
seeds in my
foundationcheck.com.
shake I drink
That's
first thing in the morning, and
foundationcheck.com.
Are you expecting to
they're a little gummy. I let them sit a little too long.
Communication on your home purchase?
It's an unusual texture.
I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is
So,
to
Nikki,
give
you got
our
any big
borrowers
plans this
and referral
weekend?
partners an amazing experience
Negative.
during the loan
Negatory?
process.
You
My
gonna
team
rest?
believes in putting people and culture
Yeah,
first.
I'm gonna have my
Our
daughter
company
this weekend, so
concentrates on building those
That'll be
teams
fun.
that
Yeah.
operate with structure, process,
haven't decided what
and
we're gonna do, but
recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we
I don't
have
know
the
if it's supposed to
energy
rain all
take
weekend.
It is,
I hope
yeah.
not.
It is.
ever. Give us a
It
call
is,
today
it
to
is.
find out the simple
But you know what I
steps to
like?
get
This
started.
morning, woke up,
Jennifer
71
Hernandez,
degrees
the
out.
Hernandez
Man,
team.
nice
No,
and
I was
cool.
loving it. It reminded me of Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
before Michigan gets ugly.
Yeah, for sure.
579-3611. Again, jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait
Yeah,
to consult with you
have a
soon.
friend that moved to
For the
Chicago,
numbers, 5144997.
and
Housing opportunity lender.
they moved. I
Almost
think it
5
was
more
like in
Did you know that there are
April,
over
something like
$24
April or May, something like
trillion
that, and
in
they-
retirement accounts
they're
in
back
the
in town
US?
right now, and they're like,
Imagine if
well,
you could use
yeah, the
this
weather's
IRA
great
to
and
fund
enjoy it.
all
I'm like,
your
yeah, you haven't been
deals.
through that winter
Well,
yet.
you can.
Right? It's
Quest
brutal.
IRA
Yeah.
is
So,
locally
literally,
here
it's
in
so
Houston,
windy there, it's
Texas.
crazy.
Yeah.
Quest IRA,
Yeah.
we offer retirement
A
accounts,
city doesn't get a nickname like the Windy
invest
City
in
for no
real
reason.
estate,
I know, right?
Right.
private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any
Hey, morning, Tim.
investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes.
Yeah, it looks
and
like
free
70% chance of rain
consultations with
today,
IRA
100%
specialists.
tomorrow,
For more
80%
information,
Sunday,
visit
80%
our
Monday,
website
70%
at
Tuesday,
questira.com
80% Wednesday,
or call us
70%
at
Thursday.
1-855-FUN-IRA
Great.
to
Yeah,
tap
we got-
into the
we got a little bit of rain
$24
coming up.
trillion in retirement accounts in the US.
Even, yeah, I mean,
Call Quest
this even
IRA
goes through,
at 1-855-FUN-IRA.
yeah, it's thunderstorms today, thunderstorms Saturday, thunderstorms Sunday, rain showers Monday, thunderstorms Tuesday, thunderstorms Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of next week, and then light rain Sunday, October 7th. Is how far out they're predicting.
From owning real estate. At Anderson Business, Legal, and Tax Advisors, we
Yeah, we're
specialize
a little
in protecting real estate
saturated.
investors in all 50 states.
Yes.
In addition to structuring your business for optimum protection, we provide guidance so you pay the least amount of taxes available under.
Hey,
the
Matt,
law.
what's up?
We have 150 employees that range from lawyers to CPAs to
Yeah, all of Houston.
much more. Download our free ebook.
For sure, Sugarland. We love
Investor
Sugarland.
Strategy today at AndersonAdvisors.com or call for a free risk reduction analysis.
Sugarland's a
and
sweet place to
financial
invest.
blueprint At
Har, 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 har.
800-706-4741.
That's so corny.
Anderson Business Advisors will help you keep more of what you earn. Call us today at 800-706-4741 and mention Right Path Real Estate.
This is Business 1110.
All right, hot mics.
All right. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. We're talking all things single-family real estate. We could talk other types of real estate, but it's not that we're anti-multifamily. We're not anti. When I say multifamily, I mean like, 5 units or more. I don't mean like, duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes. One of the things that we see people struggle with is that they'll hear me say something, and then they make like a rule that Tom said, you don't do this. Like, I'm not a huge fan of condos, but if you get a great deal on just about anything, I mean, if the numbers make sense, if you get a good deal, do it. You have to calculate the risk. You have to calculate the return. One of the things I don't like about a lot of condos is they just don't make sense from a math standpoint. I mean, imagine if you have a piece of real estate. There's some real estate that's just, you're not expecting it to appreciate. And we call condos like the canary of the real estate market. They're typically the last to rise in value if the market starts rising. They're the first to fall when the market starts falling. And the problem is every condo association has an HOA. And it's not like an HOA in a neighborhood. A neighborhood HOA, you're typically going to have $500 a year as an HOA fee. It's not uncommon for a condo association to have like $300 a month. So, for example, I owned a condo for a little while, and it's $300 a month HOA fees, and the property's worth about $65,000. So, if you bought it retail at $65,000, means that you're all in at $550 a month with principal, interest, taxes, insurance. You had $300 a month on top of that for the HOA, you're like $850 a month. If it's not going to go up in value from 65 to like 70, 75, 80, 85, etc., then you got to make it on the rent, right? So they're renting there for about, $900, $950. So time you pay, your insurance, and it's just like there's no margin in there. You just not make. Maybe $100 a month. And would you do a deal for $100 a month? I would do a deal for $100 a month that was going to appreciate, but I wouldn't do a deal for $100 a month if it's not going to appreciate. So I don't like a lot of, condos, but in fact, I had a before I get to the but, I had a lady call me one time and she said, "Hey, I want you to give me a price for the condo." And I'm like, well, let's walk through some numbers. Before I ever go out there, I pulled it up, and these things are renting for like $750. I say, "Hey, how much the condo association dues?" She goes, "Oh, they're like $300 a month." And I go, "Okay." And, this is like so you essentially take $750 in rent, subtract $300 a month, you're left with like $450. So I'm start doing the math, and I'm like, man, I mean, if I buy it for $20, then even if I pay cash for it, I mean, if any kind of maintenance at all inside the unit, if tenants do anything, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the time. And so I start working. I finally got to a point where I figured, hey, if I'm paying $1,000 a year in insurance and let's say, $100 a month. Well, let's just say $100 a month in insurance, $100 a month in, excuse me, $100 a month in taxes. I mean, now I've got $500 a month going out the door if I paid cash for the thing, and it rents for $750. So, like, if she gave it to me, the most I can make is $250 a month. And then you start thinking, if you put a tenant in there and you have to replace the carpet, or you have to, replace a door, or if they do anything, that's only like $2,400 a year. They can't do any damage at all, and have it make sense, and it's not going to appreciate it. And I'm like, man, if you gave it to me, I don't really want it. And she kind of got offended. And she goes, so I'm like, I don't really want to make you an offer. She goes, you got to make me some. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I don't have. I'm in the property buying business. I'm not in the offer making business. For some of y'all, that's a what? What did you just say? I'm not in the offer making business. I'm in the property buying business. Now I have to make offers in order to buy properties, but I don't always make. If I don't want to buy the property, I don't make an offer. And in fact, if the seller's not ready to buy, I don't make an offer. Excuse me. If the seller's not ready to sell, if the seller's not ready to sell, I'm not going to make an offer. So I told her, like, if you gave it to me, I don't really want it. And she goes, well, you got to make an offer. I mean, you're in the house buying business, you got to make an offer. I'm like, all right, fine, here's my offer. If you pay me $20,000 and you deed the property over to me, I'll take it. And she goes, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, exactly. Now, if you do that, I'll take it off your hands. Because I would have just pocketed the 20, and I would have donated the house or the condo to a church or a charity or something like that. That's the only way that I wanted it. I did the math. It wasn't worth my time. But I've got another condo. If you can have a condo that was worth $160 at some point in time, it never flooded, but a lot of the units did flood. If you could get a situation like that and you buy it, needs a lot of work. I've got to hold on to it. I got to tie my money up. Then you start calculating, how long do I have to tie it up, in order for the values to come back. So when you run the math on it, if you can get a good deal, I'll buy a condo. But I don't like lower end condos because now there's some areas, like I like condos that are over near like Reliance Stadium, that's near the medical center, stuff like that, because you could Airbnb it. And I like that play. Because then the numbers change. I don't like them when they're renting for like $800 a month or something like that. I like an Airbnb play. So I'm going to do an Airbnb play on a condo. So if you want to talk about that, feel free to call in. Now, so today I told you I'm going to go to the DA. We also are closing on, I think it's 3 properties today. I think we're buying 1 subject to. We're closing on 2. We're selling 2. I think that's the numbers. I've got to sign a bunch of paperwork today. Probably during the next break, I'll be closing on houses. It takes a team in order to do what we do. Oh, I was also going to share the story about... So after the radio show yesterday, got involved in that whole chase down and all that. Ended the day. I can't even say it ended. Maribel rode with me all day yesterday. She's our transaction coordinator. But I ended up going to our base camp house yesterday. We're going to be... This property will be on the market by the end of next week. We've got landscaping to go and a couple other minor details. So what ended up happening is people that saw this house 4 months ago. In fact, there was a lady there last night. She's been in our base camp a pretty good while, and she says, when I walked in this house, I said, oh, heck no, there's no way I would ever, ever, ever buy a house like this. And by being a part of Right Path, what she's received is the education, a change in her thinking. And I asked her last night, I said, now that you saw what it was and you see what it is now, how's it smell? And this house smelled atrocious when we walked it 4 months ago. And then you should see it today. It looks like a brand new house. And I asked her, how's it smell now? And she said, it smells like money. And just to share some of the quick numbers on it, property was listed for $360 on MLS. You can look it up on MLS. I bought it for $221,500. And I know people ask, well, how can you buy a house for almost $140,000 less than what it was listed for? Come to our weekend event. We'll talk about it. We'll teach you exactly. We've got nothing to hide. We're totally transparent. Come on in. The water's fine. We spent about $130,000 remodeling it, so we're all in about $350,000. We thought that the property would sell for about $450,000 when it was all said and done, but the market's turned in our favor, and it looks like, it's going to go for closer to $250,000 a foot. There's properties listed that are 1950 style in the exact same square footage as our house in the $285,000, $290,000 range. So it's creeping up closer to $300 a foot. I mean, this will easily, I think, a year from now be a $600,000 house. Right now, because there's comps right now in the $550,000 range, and I'm only looking to get about $499,900, just below $500,000. And so people, when they see someone else doing it, and you're able to take somebody by the hand or put your arm around and say, "Come on, let's go do this. Let me show you how." That's really what being a part of a team is about. And that's really what Right Path is all about. We want to teach people you can make chunks of cash in flipping, but once the work is done, once we get cashed out, then it's over and done with. And nothing wrong with making chunks of cash, because then you can take those chunks of cash and then buy more buy and hold properties. Buy and hold is where wealth and income is built for the long term. We can talk about selling properties owner finance. We can talk about buying properties subject to. We can talk about flipping. We can talk about wholesaling. We can talk about buy and hold. We can talk about lending. All of those are great strategies. All of those really fall down into just 4 ways to make money in real estate: buy and hold, buy, fix, and flip, wholesale, and then lending. We had somebody in our class this past weekend, and they said, "Well, I sell properties, owner finance, seller finance." He said, "I sell property seller finance, so that's different." I go, "No, that's just a lending play. That's really all it is." And I think it took him a little bit to agree with me, but there's different ways that you can be the lender. You can, be a direct private money lender on, deals. You can, partner with people on buy and hold. You can sell owner finance and be the person that funds that long term. I mean, there's lots of ways that you can be the lender, but they're all, even banks find different ways to lend, right? And they're not all 30-year mortgages. You can lend on cars. You can lend on boats. You can lend on, but it's still just lending. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Our call-in number is 713-785-1817. If you've got a burning question about real estate, whether it's commercial, whether it's residential, whether it's industrial, whether it's single-family, multifamily, it's okay. You can ask. Call in, ask questions. We can do the math. We can answer questions. So anybody going to the auction on Tuesday? That's one of the questions I'd like to know from listeners. Anybody going to the auction? And tell me why you're going. I've never really been a big fan of the auction. Have we gone? Yes, absolutely. But what I find, if you're a buyer at the auction, here's what you have to think about. Let's say you've got 10 people bidding, and everybody's got different risk levels, different risk tolerances, and everybody's got different reward goals. So you've got risk versus reward. And so the person that can outbid everybody is the person then that makes the decision. I'm willing to take a little more risk than everyone else. I'm willing to take a little bit less reward than everybody else, because I think I'm better than everybody else. So I can take more risk. I'm smarter than everybody. I can take less reward and still make money. And think about that as a long-term strategy. Imagine if Apple's strategy was to take on more risk for less reward than everybody else. Because that's really who wins the bid, is the person that takes on the most risk for the least amount of reward. Yay, they win. Now, can you find a deal on it on the auction site every now and then? Yeah, of course. Can you go to it used to be the courthouse steps, it's not anymore. Hey, the music tells me I'm out of town. We're going to continue the conversation on the other side of the break. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. Hey, Tim, if you want to call in, we'll have that conversation. Let's do it.
money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes, binders, and the agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. It's there for you. Call Houston's leading real estate risk management experts. Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas, 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Selecting a foundation company and their product for repair is a lot like a game of chance. You simply don't know what you're going to get.
Hey, good morning, Nareet. Good morning, Andrew.
Doesn't carry a license, nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of our files to give you the best foundation.
Yeah, Sonia, I didn't miss you.
in today's
Good
market.
morning.
Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825, or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor?
What do y'all think, guys? Y'all like this background here?
Modeling at 832
Or do you like the mountains? We got winter coming. Do you like the mountains, or you like the city? You'll see that fall in just a moment.
Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really
What do y'all
does
like?
manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
Are y'all tired of the forest?
Founder inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing.
Somebody
in
give me an
investment
opinion.
real estate.
Or do y'all like money?
For a number of what their property is
That's probably my
worth,
least
but a
favorite. I mean, I like money,
comprehensive
but
analysis of the market. Give Next Gen a call at 715
since the weather doesn't look like that anytime soon,
9911.
might go with that one.
Check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
You like the mountains? Andrew likes the trees.
Real estate investors, do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund to help you with repair costs.
We'll go with the mountains.
Jet Lending is your fast and
We've had the
friendly
trees for a long
resource
time.
for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email
So-
us at
Sonia likes the city.
@jetlending.com.
I like the city too.
Are you a realtor or seller that's concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time?
Yeah, it has never been on my
Hernandez,
bucket
Senior
list
Loan Officer at Legacy
to
Mutual
get to the
Mortgage,
top.
and
But
we
let me
have
see if I can,
mastered the
if I
30-day
can
close.
to get
We
to
close on
right there.
time, accurately,
I've
and
never,
with tons of
I've
communication.
never wanted to be
You'll
right
have a
there.
dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract to close associate. Give me a call today at
feel like one of those weather guys.
713-579-3611, and let's talk about how we can help you on your next transaction. NMLS 514497.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing. We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and the ability to tap into trillions of dollars for your real estate investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information, call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or visit our website at questira.com.
30 seconds.
Taxes.
All right.
Just the sound of that word makes people cringe. At Anderson
I'll be here.
Advisors, we provide tax reduction through asset
I'm glad to hear
protection
that.
for investors throughout the country.
Oh, you can
Our
handle it.
unique philosophy has
You've heard our message enough. You could do it.
and estate planners with one common
I
goal,
appreciate the
helping
faith.
you, the real estate investor. Check us out today at Anderson Advisors.
Although you're not really listening, right? You're playing some Pokemon game or something, right?
What? I'm always listening.
What game are you playing right now?
This is Business
This little,
1110.
I'm growing plants or whatever.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's new
Okay,
music.
here we go. All right, hot mics.
Wow, that's some old school music. Wow. Welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. So, Tim, do you want to call in? 713-785-1817. We have a conversation about auctions. You say no way. Yeah. Oh, you're saying no way auctions are a bad idea. So you're saying the same thing that I am, I think. Or are you saying no way auctions are a bad idea? The comment in there, I think, has you agreeing with me. But now, if you're an end user, owner, occupant, then yeah, I could see that, going and buying at an auction might make some sense, right? But as an investor, it doesn't make sense. But, we teach in our weekend event that on any property that exists out there, anytime you find yourself as an investor going head-to-head with an end-user owner-occupant, man, just walk away. Just walk away. Because that owner-occupant, if he wants to own that house, he can outbid any investor no matter what. Always, always, always. Can't compete with an end-user owner-occupant. Somebody that wants to live in that house. He'll get emotional about it. As an investor, you can't get emotional. And then if you're a buy, fix, and flip guy, and you ever find yourself going against a buy and hold investor, again, walk away. Buy and hold investors can always pay more than a buy, fix, and flip guy. And again, you wholesalers, if you find yourself going against buy and hold folks and you're planning on wholesaling to buy, wow. The goal of a wholesaler is really to find deals, to bring deals to either passive investors or buy, fix, and flip or wholesale deals that they can't find on their own, right? Or, it's about leaving enough meat on the bone for the investor you're trying to sell to make money, right? So that's really what the goal of a wholesaler is. So just know that if you're going to bring, you get paid in this business according to the value you bring to the marketplace. So if you're wholesaling deals, like first deal that we ever did, we wholesaled 47,000 a property. We bought it, we contracted it for 70, and then we assigned the contract. We didn't do a double close or anything like that. We just assigned the contract, made $47,000 as an assignment fee. Now, why did we make $47,000? Wasn't because we took advantage. We sold to a very, very, very... In fact, I'll tell you, we sold to net worth. They're extremely experienced. We're not going to get over on net worth. So it wasn't like we were looking for the greater fool or anything like that. We left meat on the bone and sold it. You're like, how can you make $47,000 and still leave meat on the bone? Well, the way you do that is you buy it right. We bought it really, really well. You improve your skill, you bring value to the marketplace. We brought massive value to the marketplace. We obviously brought $47,000 worth of value to the marketplace. Some might say that we left a little bit too much meat on the bone because all they did is turn around and wholesaled it to another investor, made another $8,000. Now, did I begrudge them that? No. They had a list of buyers that was bigger than ours at the time. So they had buyers. I basically made 3 phone calls and found them as the buyer. They're on my list of 3 to call when we first got started. So we made $47,000, which means we brought $47,000 worth of value to the marketplace. So when you start thinking about it in terms of relationships, then it changes your perspective. In fact, if you start thinking about contractors in terms of long-term relationships, you start talking about landscapers or painters or whoever it is that you need to be on your team, appraisers and inspectors, if you start thinking in terms of relationships, not just how low can I get this transaction down to? In fact, if you start going through life where you're building relationships. In fact, I got done kind of late last night. Dropped Maribel off back at the office. It was pretty near like 10 o'clock. And I was kind of hungry. And I've gone kind of vegan. I'm like, what can I eat this late? Nothing's really good open at 10 o'clock. And I've gone, I've been out after events sometimes, get a little hungry, want to stop, get something halfway decent to eat. Maybe some fruits or some vegetables, things like that. And, I can actually get something. IHOP's pretty close to my office here. And it's interesting that I've been in enough time, not like I go in even once a week, but I try and make an impression, calling people by their name. And, do you ever tip when you go in to pick up a to-go order? The server's not really doing that much, but, on a $10 or $12, ticket, some people are going to tip like $2. I tipped $5. So Frankie, this guy that, I go in at 10 o'clock at night in an IHOP. Frankie goes, hey, how are you doing? Welcome back. What can I do for you? And he takes my order. He gets it done really, really quickly. It's done well. It's $12. I give him $5. He goes, and I go, Frankie, I hope you have a great night. I use his name. So it's about building a relationship because I think, man, $5 is not going to make or break me, but it makes a difference. Think about a guy working at an IHOP at 10 o'clock at night. every night of the week. I mean, it's probably not his first choice, he looks like he's older than I am, maybe 55, 56, 57, could be even 60 years old. I don't know what his life has been like or anything like that, but whatever he's done in his life has had him end up working at an IHOP. And I want you to hear me with my heart. I'm not downing his job. I'm not trying to minimize it or anything like that. But man, $5 could make a difference. Especially on a $12 tip. I don't think they're expecting that. But if you sow those kind of seeds long term, it's just amazing when you do that consistently, time after time after time over, just imagine if you did something like that for a year, where your life would be a year from now. Or you do that for 5 years, where your life would be. Or you do that for 10 years, where your life would be. When you sow those kind of relationships so that everywhere you go, you're sowing people wanting, just imagine if, you're doing that consistently time and time and time again, what your life's going to look at like. You're not going to dread, having a server, having a bad attitude, things like that. I don't look for that. You need to watch The Secret, the law of attraction. Be careful what you're attracting into your own life. Nikki's texting me saying there's a caller, Tim from Tallahassee. Tim, welcome to the show. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm having a really good morning. Going to have a great Friday.
Great. Oh, cool, absolutely. I was going back to the auctions. Yeah, I went to an auction once and had a look at all the properties and stuff like that. And one of the properties I had did all the bench work, and I think my maximum bid was $60,000.
Right. It was a deal at 60. Right.
60 grand. That was a deal.
Yeah.
The property went for 120.
Yeah, right. So obviously that person's willing to take more risk than you and willing to take less margin than you. And yay, he's a winner. But is he really? I mean, is that a sustainable long-term business model? And the answer is no. Now,
not for me.
Right, absolutely. Now, truth be told, I literally know, when I owned Fast Track, I knew guys, because I did $1 million worth of remodeling for one hedge fund out of Connecticut called BLT. And BLT had a partner in Texas out of Dallas that would go to the Dallas and the Houston auction for them to buy properties. And these guys would show up with backpacks full, probably about $10 million worth of cashier's checks. And they would bid, and so if you saw the system that they would use and the analytics of how many properties they would have to, and they went like with an enforce, because if you've been to an auction, the trustees are kind of all over the place in Harris County, kind of do the same thing in Dallas. Yeah. So you have to have multiple people, and these guys would analyze literally every property on the auction through their algorithms. And what you recognize is, I've known guys that a buddy of mine owns a print shop here in town, and I used to go and help him buy properties at an auction. He'd try and buy one or two, maybe once a month or once every other month. And what ended up happening is, over like a year, he bought like 7 properties. Made money on 6, but the one he lost money on, he lost so much on that one that it wiped out all the profits of all the others. But by comparison, the hedge funds, when they're buying 50, 60, 70, 80 at a time, they can afford to lose on 2 or 3, maybe 5, because they make money on the other 45 or 50. But here's the key, is that what makes it difficult for us to compete with hedge funds is that it's our cost of money. Hedge funds have a cost of money that's pretty close to 1%. So they can make 5 or 6% work. Because if you could borrow at 1%, wouldn't you be okay with a 6% rate of return and make 5% on somebody else's billions and billions of dollars? Of course you would.
Absolutely.
But you and I, we don't have, if you do have 1% cost of money, please feel free to give me a call as soon as the show's over. We need to talk. But I don't have access to, 1% cost of money. And so they're just making arbitrage spreads on cost of money. And that's the reason why they can make multifamily work and all of that. But you're right. Man, auctions are not the place to do it. But Tim, thanks for calling in. I enjoyed the conversation.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Man, it's always fun when we get callers. I know it's fun to interact with people on Facebook and all that, but I really do appreciate when people call, and I'd like to have more of them. It'd be fun to me, especially on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. I know it's harder on Tuesdays and Thursdays because we have guests, and it's the Build Your Team Tuesdays and Thursdays. But I think you, the audience, it's fun to just sit back passively, but I love it when you participate. I really do. I love it when you participate because I know you all have your own stories. And I mean, Tim sharing his a property. Imagine you go there, you're max. Like maybe I've got a chance. You do all that work, 60 grand your number, and man, you weren't even in the ball. You weren't like it just sailed past you so far. And I'd love to know did that guy. I mean, how much money that guy ended up losing. And it's one of two things. It's an investor that lost money, or it's an end-user owner occupant that just wanted to live there because you never know. Maybe mama lived next door. So you never know the reasons why. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. The music says I'm out of time. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. I'll be here on the other side of the break.
Mike's off.
Andrew, that's fair.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund.
All right, Sonia, for you. I'll bring the city in.
Originated over 2,000 loans in Texas, valued at over $250 million. Jet Lending will help you evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't forget about our famous Third Wednesday Super Investor Networking Meeting. Lots of fun, lots of great real estate talk. We'll see you there.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give Next Gen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing. We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and the ability to tap into trillions of dollars for your real estate investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational
I aim to please,
classes
Sonia.
every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information, call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs.
Got to analyze the deal real quick.
QuestIRA.com.
You know what would be cool is if we can, maybe Andy,
Time is money in
make
the
this
real estate
happen.
deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive,
I don't know how great a radio would be, but be pretty good on Facebook. Because like right now, I've changed screens from Facebook, and I'm on HCAD pulling up
they know what you need and when you need it.
a property
Are you a rehab?
in Katy that's going to auction.
Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties.
My brother called me this
Benchmark
morning,
our
and
exclusive investor package. Call
there's
us and let us show
a
you
guy that bought a
what we
property
can do
back
for
in
you.
2000.
281-569-4353.
So he's owned it 18 years,
That's
scheduled to go to auction.
281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track
1 minute.
Remodeling at 832-742-9992.
Why are you screaming at me?
Sorry.
No, I'm just
or reach
kidding.
us on the web
I'm
at
playing.
fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992. Or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
Oh, wow, that'd be perfect.
All right, hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. So, we had a free event yesterday. We got a bus tour that is not open to the public, but it's open to our PENN members. So if you're part of our Passive Investor Network, you've probably been contacted already by folks at Penn Realty. And if you want to get more information about Penn Realty is a real estate brokerage that represents investors that want to do buy and hold. And so there's gonna be a bus tour, and then the properties on the bus tour will actually, if the property's scheduled to go to auction, do you have to wait and go to the auction to purchase the property? No, I do not. I will try and buy the property and control that. So that's a great question. So I will not wait and bid with all the other yahoos that don't want to do anything. I can buy the property. Typically what's happening in a situation like that, if it's going to foreclosure, they're probably 6-7 months. It used to be that if a property was going to foreclosure, they were like 3 months behind. Then it was going to auction. But nowadays, what you find is that banks aren't really taking things to foreclosure, especially post Harvey. They're not taking things to foreclosure till 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9 months. So you can really just stop the foreclosure just by bringing it up to, current. So here's a property that when I look on HCAD, it's a property that current HCAD value is like $105,000 based on the appraisal. So at that, if I figure it's like 105, he could be, if he's 6 months behind, he could be as little as only $6,000 behind. So for $6,000, you could get him caught up and stop the auction. You don't have to pay it off to get it caught up. So this might be a subject too. It might be, but I want to do a little bit of due diligence before I actually go out there. But no, I do not have to go to auction, and I will not go. If it gets to that point, I won't go. I'll just let the property go because I don't want to compete with, it's a waste of my time. Basically, is what it comes down to. So if you want to find out more, the best place to get started, go to rightpathrealestate.com. We're making changes almost daily. We've got a web designer that is making some massive changes. We want to make our web experience more user-friendly. Go to rightpathrealestate.com, rightpathrealestate.com. Register for our free event where we talk about wealth and income, how you build wealth and income through real estate. And that's where you get an opportunity to join. We've got a club level that allows you the opportunity, it gets you 60 hours worth of training. It also gets you the ability to come to our weekend event every month of the year for 12 months. It also gets you a deal analyzer. It gets you lots and lots of tools, lots and lots of information, and helps you get started on your journey of building wealth and income. And it gives you a lot of financial education where most people are invested in things they don't even realize that they're invested in. So that's the way to get started with us. And then you can take part in finding out about all the other things we have to offer. One of the things I get most excited about is the changes that I see take place with people's thinking when they come to our weekend event.
20
and
seconds.
People start seeing a hope and a plan for a better future for their family. And I get really, really excited. Let's see. What if it's been 8 years and to bring it back up more than you want? Yeah, then don't do it. So it could be potentially a short sale, but that takes attorneys and all that. Seconds. So I'm running out of time. Can't really answer that. We'll talk more about that on Monday. Thanks for listening, guys. Right Path Real Estate Radio. Good golf, good tennis, or whatever makes you happy. Bye-bye.